So I'm going to demo a thing. This is the new release for 1.40 Smartloop. The team's been working on this for the last couple of months. We are using multiple models and routing models and orchestration to select best model based on your capabilities. So I'm going to, instead of showing what the product does, I am going to do some comparison. Basically, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use another popular product. Here we go. Control-Shift-M. I can see my models. I have enabled Gemma 4, effective 2 billion parameter model. It is using the SL Mini. So SL Mini is where purposefully fine-tuned it to do routings, skills, and some other task that it should do to make the orchestration better. So this is my this is my projects. I have just only one project. I also want to see my logs, how the orchestration has been going right now. I'm going to use this product, and I'm going to do the same exercise in both cases. I'm going to create a Vanguard project, and the first thing I'm going to do is upload some files. And let's say it's external files. I go to downloads and select this one file, and maybe I'll say add and allow changes, and I'm going to add another external file, and I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do the same for this. I'm using the same model in both cases. So let me see how much memories I've been using. This is harder, by the way. I'm using harder on Ghosty. So far, it's pretty awesome. So now I will go and ask a question over here. So I'll put it over here, side by side, and ask a question. Create a table. I'm doing this. I'm sure there is a better way to do this thing. I'm using this as a dumb user. Um, um, I'm not very experienced with LLMs and things like that. I'm lazy, and I want AI to help me get there. So let's say I'm an analyst in Goldman, and I want to create a table with fund names, ticker symbol, and annual operating expenses. I see it's using Node, and I see that it's right now taking up 3 gigs of memory. I think, yeah, it is. It's doing some work. I think the memory pressure is getting there. Yep. So I know this part is boring. I'm using extremely slow machine. This is a base M4 Mac Mini with only 24 gigs of memory. I think for the most part, people use this type of devices. I mean, what happens with the average people who works in a government office or um, or IT, for example, right? Or Goldman analyst in this case, right? Um, so it could not. Let me see if I can say, can you analyze SP46 and SP97, and then create the table. Yeah, sometimes, so this is using single model, I believe, just off the shelf. I think the goal, the thing is that we all know the single models, single small models on its own is useless. So the goal here is that can we use these other models and other orchestration mechanism to help the single model produce better output, right? So um, uh, as I said, that so I think it could not able to convert my PDF. So yeah, the good thing about it is that it has a reasoning, and it is trying to convert and then and trying to fix, is trying to do course correct and trying to get the response. But yeah, so for the sake of time, I'll work on this. I'm sure there's a better way to do that. So I'll just to save memory, I'll just I still have 13 gigs of memory, so this should be okay. No, I have, yeah, so somewhere around that. So now I'm going to do the same exercise with this product. So the first thing I will do, I'll just open the tab and I'll create the same Vanguard project, Vanguard, and maybe I'll give it a color, and then I'll go to Control Shift D, and this will allow me to upload some documents, and I will upload this same two documents over here. So here I am pre-indexing it. So SLP is the application that's running behind the scenes. So it's being indexed and everything is done. And now I'll close this, and I'll Control Shift D, Control Command backspace, and I'll have a clean, nice window over here. And I'm gonna ask the same question: create a table of fund names, ticker, symbol, and annual operating expenses. And maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not going to work. I don't know. So you can see that the memory is creeping up. It's taking 4.7 gigs of memory. So I'm almost there. I also want to see how the orchestration is going on right now. So I'm going to say Control Shift L, and I can see what it's doing right now. Oh, I have enabled web search. I should not have. So it's kind of a mixing up the web result from web search and the documents itself. So, but let's see how far it goes. I think it went to sec.gov. And the web search is powered by Brave. So ideally, I do want it to support Brave web search out of the box, but right now it requires some type of login and things like that. But yeah, it did came up with a good good result. This result are correct. Additionally, it combines this result with sec.gov, which can be questionable, but I know based on the annotations, these are the things that it should respond it to. So yeah, so this is I want to do a quick overview. I'll turn off the logs, and I will maybe I like my left pane to be open, and There we go. Yeah, I actually do not like the theme a lot, but I like one thing very good is that Osaka Jane. So, yep, looks looks very nice right now. So I will leave here. So yeah, so this is a kind of a side-by-side comparison of how two products work. Obviously, we are improving the product every single day as we speak. This is not anyhow a perfect solution, and we love feedback from the community on things can be done and how far this can be extended. Before I leave, there is one more thing I want to show here is that let's say I want to open the model list, and if I select multiple models, and right now it's answering with Gemma 4 affected 2 billion parameter model, but I probably want to select a different model and one vision maybe. So maybe the question is why the list of models are, you have a so little model list, like you have your list looks, why you do not have hundreds of models, right? The goal here is not to confuse the user, an office worker, with loads of models, but we curate with our SL mini model. We will select a list of models that are more effective. We select the models based on its capabilities. So, for example, here, obviously, Gemma 2 billion has a low footprint in terms of memory. We can use Ministral. We can use 4 billion parameter models. I'm going to add, we're going to add a few more models over here, but the goal here is always to have a selected set of models that will do your document processing, your visions, your skills, your MCPs, and everything else. So that's kind of the philosophy behind not having hundreds of models in the list, only a few.